All right. Our night is slowly drawing to a close. We have 2 more storytellers tonight. Next up, Stacey Wehe. Please take the stage.
That was a bad high five. We'll try again next time. I haven't had anything to drink tonight, so I mean, we'll see how this goes. But okay, first before we started, Ken Wolf, who was a couple storytellers ago, taught us a few cheers a couple months ago, and I was hoping you all would just please entertain me for like 15 seconds, and I'm going to teach you a cheer. And it's very, very simple. I say 2 words, and you say 1 word. I say hip hip, and you say huzzah, but there's a motion. You have to go like this when you huzzah, okay? So the lovely Leah is going to try and get some amazing photographs of us all huzzahing in unison. Are you with me? Yes. Yes. You're with me. Yes, you're with me. Okay, are you ready for this? Okay. Hip hip, huzzah! Did you get a picture? I don't think she got one. We're going to have to do this a couple times. Okay, hip hip, huzzah! Yeah. Hip hip! Huzzah! Is that too fast? Are we good? 1 more. Left-handed. Hip hip! Huzzah! Okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for entertaining me. Second. Okay. Ready? Just tell my story. So, like many Americans, I have problems sleeping, and I didn't used to have problems sleeping, basically because I'm a chronic overachiever. In high school, I did everything. I was on like every club, and it didn't make me any more popular, but I did everything. And in college, I worked like 2 to 3 part-time jobs all the time, and I had an incredibly intensive major, and I had a great GPA, and I was president of my sorority, but don't hold that against me because it was totally an accident. So I always slept well until I moved to St. Louis. And I love St. Louis. I absolutely love this city. But in the first 9 months that I moved here, I was mugged twice, my car was stolen, and I witnessed a violent crime. That's a different story. The point is, now I have problems sleeping. And whenever I start dating someone new, I have to give them this whole like sleeping spiel. Like it's a thing. Like everyone has their thing, and mine is sleeping and whatever. I don't do anything crazy. I don't like walk or anything, but sometimes I talk. But anyways, I have to give them the spiel. So not too long ago, I started dating this guy, and I had given him my sleeping spiel. He knew the stick. And I should mention that he really is a really nice guy, and I'm not saying that because I'm being videotaped right now. He's a super, super awesome nice guy, but I get the feeling that he's a really great friend, not such a great boyfriend. Just saying. And like when you're thinking about starting a relationship with someone like this, like you know it's bad news, and all of your friends and basic common sense are telling you don't do this, avoid this, but you're like, no, I'm gonna give him a fair chance. I'm gonna be that good person that gives everyone multiple chances. And so I was trying to do that, and I was trying to be good. And so we started dating, you know, and really I was really intrigued by this person because, like I mentioned, I was a little bit of an overachiever and I might not have been that popular. So I, like as a former nerd, I really wanted to date this guy. So we started dating. And shortly after we started dating, one of our mutual friends made this completely offhand comment to me. He said, "Oh, I can see that. You're totally his type." Yeah. And I was like, his type? What? His type better be incredibly intelligent, successful, ambitious architects, because that is what I am. Oh, yeah. That didn't work with my left hand. So, and I told myself that little white lie that we sometimes tell ourselves when we're worried that we're dating a serial bachelor. I told myself, I'm special. I am definitely different than anyone else he has ever dated because I was first chair flute of the Orion High School band for 2 years. Yeah, that's right. You know what? Valedictorian? That was me. So clearly I'm very different from the girls that he normally dates. So we started dating. And we were dating for like 4 or 5 or 6 months or something, but I mean, I don't know if he would call it dating, because we had a conversation about it. And I called it dating because that's an actual thing to me. What he called it was, I don't really believe in labels. And I really like you, but I don't like to use the term exclusive. And I'm not really dating anyone else, but I'm kind of seeing someone, but it's more of a fun thing because we broke up like a year ago, but we didn't really break up, but we just stopped having sex like a year ago. But there was never a conversation, and we still hang out sometimes, but you understand, right? And I was like, are you trying to tell me you're married? I don't know what that is. So anyways, I knew all of these things about him, and I knew that he didn't want to be my boyfriend, and I knew that while I thought I was special, maybe I wasn't, I don't know. I'm still pretty special in other ways, but two flute kind of ways. But yeah, so despite all of this, we dated, and I kind of committed the cardinal sin where I allowed myself to like him, like really kind of like him. And I knew that was bad, and I knew that would absolutely blow up in my face, which of course it did. And it started to blow up in my face one night while we were asleep. And see, that's why I told you about how I have problems sleeping. It's all like, it all ties together. It's just a preface. So we were asleep one night, and I of course, I'm a light sleeper. I have a lot of problems, and in the middle of the night, I'm just like shocked awake, and it's completely pitch black. I have no idea what's going on, but I get the sensation that the bed is slightly moving. It's kind of shaking a little bit, and I've been in St. Louis for like 5 years. So I was here when we had that earthquake a couple years ago, so I'm like, oh my God, it's an earthquake. It's another earthquake. This is the big one. It's an earthquake. Disaster preparedness kicking in now. And I like jump into readiness, and I'm about to head for the nearest door frame, and I know exactly what to do this time because my mom sent me a hurricane kit because she couldn't find an earthquake kit, but still I know what to do. I Wikipedia'd it. I knew I had a plan. But like as soon as I flinch, the shaking stops. And I'm like, oh, okay, something else is going on. And I should mention that I am like incredibly paranoid about someone breaking into my apartment, and I might have mentioned I witnessed a violent crime earlier. So I have like different escape routes planned, based on if someone breaks into the front door or the back door. And immediately, of course, I'm going to grab my flutes because they're the most valuable things in my apartment. And then I'll grab my cats because nothing like makes a complete nerd other than your flutes and your cats. So that's my plan. And I'm laying in bed, and before I go to bed at night, I like to visualize my escape routes because it helps me sleep better, because it's like practicing them, but in your mind, which I justify as being less weird than actually practicing them. So I'm laying in bed. I know exactly what to do. I'll go for the flutes, and then but as soon as I move again, like the shaking stops, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, they have broken into the apartment and they're gently shaking my bed. I need to figure out what's happening and why they're doing this to me. This is weird. And so as any good military brat would do, I start to reach for the magnum, enormous can of pepper spray that I keep by my side at all times. So I start to reach for the pepper spray, and it suddenly dawns on me about mid-reach. I realize that my faux boyfriend is laying next to me in bed, masturbating. Wow, that was an awesome reaction. Oh my God. I realize this, and I am mortified. I am so mortified. I cannot move. Because first of all, how does this reflect on me? Not good. I mean, I've already got the 2 cats, like, and like, secondly, like, that's just rude. He couldn't have gone to the bathroom or something to take care of it, or like, I don't know, woken me up. So, In like 2 seconds flat, I go from being mortified to being just pissed off. But I don't know what to do, because the worst thing I can think of to do is like tap him on the shoulder and be like, excuse me, I seem to have noticed you're taking care of yourself. Yeah, like I can't do that. So in my fog, I think, okay, I'll pretend that I'm waking up. But how do you know what you do when you're asleep? So I'm trying to like make motions like I'm waking up, but it's like a weird like, stretch thing, and it's not very effective. So I don't even know what I looked like. It wasn't working. So I'm like, okay, oh my God, what to do, okay? I could pepper spray him. No, I can't do that. Okay, it's right there. It's really tempting. I can't do that. Okay, I will roll over so I'm facing him. That, like, he's definitely going to stop then. Like, this is really weird. So I roll over quietly and, like, trying not to act like I'm awake, but, you know, like, I totally am. And, like, I roll over and you know what he does? He rolls over to the other side and just keeps going. And I was like, ah, crap. Okay, so we're like having this like gymnastics competition back and forth bed. It's so totally awkward, and I'm just like pissed off because I know I'm not going to be able to get back to sleep after this because I have all these problems sleeping. And eventually he just like conks out and falls right back asleep. And I don't know, but I'm kind of pissed. And I realized somewhere around like 4 or 5 in the morning, or I don't know what time it was, that for me, I know he would absolutely disagree with this assessment, but for me, him masturbating in bed next to me kind of felt like a metaphor for our relationship. Stick with me. I'll explain. It kind of felt like a metaphor for our relationship because this guy, he was a little self-absorbed and like clearly had commitment issues, and he didn't really need me. And this thing that I had been denying ever since we started dating, I realized was true, and I started to feel like I was just a skinny blonde accessory to him. You know, I would never really be a part of his life, and I would never really be part of him. And that kind of hurt a little bit because I realized that no matter how much I care for him, I don't even know if he was capable of returning those feelings. And I knew that I needed to break up with him. I needed to be released from this person. I just could not have them in my life anymore. And so, to my former faux boyfriend, things have been working out great ever since. I'm really happy. And to my former faux boyfriend, I wish you well. I really, really, really wish you well. May you always have a tall blonde to masturbate next to. It just won't be me.